Hello everybody, my name is Wes and welcome to the 36th edition of the BS Podcast. This week I have brought in a new guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I am WASD Cat. I run a YouTube channel that is focused on making game reviews for PC games.
Now, my first question was going to be slightly different, but hearing you say
Sure.
WASD Cat, in my head, I pronounced it WASD Cat. Do you take a problem with that? Or is it, if people are going to talk about your channel, it needs to be WASD Cat?
No, I mean, you can say it either way. You could say Wasad Cat or WASD Cat. Yeah, whatever you prefer.
Makes sense. Now, a big question is, how did you come up with this name?
I was trying to think of like a branded channel name that reflected what I do on the channel, right? Which is focus on computer games, but I also I don't know. I just brainstormed, and it's kind of what came out, right? Because obviously you use WASD, right, to move around in most PC games, and the internet loves cats, so
Very true.
it's hard to go wrong with that. So yeah, that was kind of my thought process.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, if a cat is all about the WASD and PC games, does that mean dogs or console animals?
Yeah, maybe, right? Someone could have a channel. Dog focused and console focused. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like this is the study we need done. Do cats prefer PC games and dogs prefer console games? This could be an interesting study.
Or do people who own cats usually like computer games more, and people who own dogs maybe like console games more?
That's a good study to do.
We need to do some
research. This could actually be a productive study on video games.
Yeah,
is it true you are part cat?
Yes. No, I'm 100% cat.
Oh, that means you also can speak the cat language.
Of course.
Well, that's good. When you interact with another cat, they must totally get it. They must be like, man, I'm so glad that you can actually understand me.
Yeah,
all these other humans, they just don't get me.
No, but I'm here. I'm here to help all the cats, so yep. It's a gift.
Sometimes you just need that one gift, and bam, you're good to go. When it comes to your channel, you do PC game reviews. Are you also a PC exclusive gamer outside of content creation, or do you also do some console games in your spare time?
I play. I own like a PlayStation 4 and a Switch, and I've owned lots of other consoles too. And I enjoy playing them. I just play more on the computer, just probably mainly because pricing for games. Usually I can find that I buy like bundles and stuff on like through Humble Bundle for. I just feel like I can play more on my computer, but there's definitely a lot of like exclusives like for my Switch that I like to play.
Very fair. Yeah. And especially like with your channel, you generally cover games I've never heard of before.
Right, and a lot of those games aren't even available on consoles, so smaller indie titles usually. Lots of them do have like Switch releases nowadays, but there's quite a handful that only, they'll only launch on PC, so.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see, because, for example, this was something I was going to bring up later, but I guess it's pretty relevant now.
Sure.
Yeah, you have the Ty the Tasmanian Tiger series, and it started on console. It's, for me, I played it on Sony. I don't know if it was exclusive to the PlayStation or not. I've never heard of it being on the Xbox, but it may be. What do I know? And then it got moved to the PC, a few years ago? Not too long ago. And now this week, Chrome Studios, the creators, they made a Kickstarter to bring Ty on the Nintendo Switch. Did you see that?
Nice. It's coming full circle. No, I haven't seen this. This is the game where the he like throws boomerangs, though, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And to me, the goal seemed kind of low. Like, I didn't know you'd be able to accomplish this with $50,000, or...
I guess everything's already built. I mean, I don't know the process enough either, right?
But yeah, they had a goal of 50,000, and within 3 days of the Kickstarter, it had 1,396 backers and has raised $59,125. So it's already exceeded its goal. So, in theory, it hit the goal. So, Ty, the Tasmanian Tiger, should be coming to the Nintendo Switch.
From the quite the journey, right? From the PlayStation 2 to the PC years and years later, right? It's been like That's super interesting how that stuff occurs, and just out of nowhere we get something like that on.
I've only played the second Ty game. I really enjoyed it when I was a kid. I don't know if I'd like it now, but like I can distinctly remember. So, like, if I heard some of the voice acting in the game, I could probably identify it came from Ty 2. I remember some of the boomerangs they had, because I enjoyed the second game a lot.
Yeah, I think I must have played it as a kid as well, and I remember the boomerangs. I think you could get like an ice one or like a fire one for the different upgrades, right? And you'd like freeze enemies with the ice boomerang, and that was a cool game. I bet. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious to play it again.
Kind of, they're all on the PC, and apparently they're slowly going to be put on the Switch now, or at least I'd assume they're going to put all of them on the Switch. Maybe not immediately, but with $50,000+ raised within 3 days, I'd say there's at least some interest. Yeah,
no, I'd imagine like the people who generally play on the Switch, enjoy lots of platformers and stuff like that. So, no, I'm sure it's a good fit, and yeah, I'd like to play the game again at some point.
What is your all-time favorite PC game?
My all-time favorite computer game? It's always so hard to pick, because just since I like such a wide variety of games, just to choose one.
If it would help, you can break it down by genre.
I don't even know. Probably one of the first ones that comes to mind is The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Is definitely one that I played hundreds of hours and is super popular. I really like Don't Starve. The Don't Starve series, Don't Starve and Don't Starve Together, are both super fun.
Nice.
Super Meat Boy might be one of my all-time favorite games. Probably is up there.
Doesn't that game make people rage?
Yeah, it's like a very difficult game and challenging. I never end up getting overly frustrated. I don't know about yourself, but
back when I did Let's Plays back in 2016, early 2017, I was 18, I was probably 19 at some point doing those games, probably. And some games, like platformers like Super Mario Bros. For example, with Super Mario Bros., I am the kind of gamer that dies in World 1, Level 1, unironically. So, yeah, those kinds of games can... Or they really at least could at one point get to me. I'm not sure I'd still be a rage gamer. Not intentionally, at least. But
yeah, no, I mean, they definitely can get frustrating, right? Especially once you've died like hundreds or even thousands of times. But I always find it super rewarding once you finally like overcome some of those more difficult stages. So yeah, no,
that's my thing. Like, for some people, it's the reward of beating something hard. For me, I don't really think I get that same feeling. I'm just like, okay, I beat this, time to go to the next thing. And I think
Huh.
that's why I don't have the same enjoyment for that kind of game that other people do.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. If I didn't like feel like some kind of accomplishment or just generally good for, I don't know, overcoming something that's so difficult, yeah, that's kind of the most enjoyable part. So that makes sense to me why you wouldn't.
And for me, the kind of game I enjoy the most is a story driven. I like a good story. I like getting characters I can get into, like good examples, The Last of Us. I enjoyed Heavy Rain a lot, although I know all the Quantic Dream games has a iffy reputation. I enjoyed like Telltale stuff, Life is Strange, Until Dawn. Those are the kinds of games I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. Every now and then I really like yeah, just a story focused game and no, yeah, that makes sense to me. I haven't played any of those titles, but I've always been super curious about it. What did they develop before Heavy Rain? Do you know? They developed
Quantic Dream. I think Heavy Rain was the first big game. I know they did games before it, but it was the first one I had ever watched. And I know they've done ones after, like Beyond Two Souls, that I enjoyed.
and
Detroit
those
Become Human.
yeah, those have all just recently got put on the Epic Store as well,
Yeah, I
I
don't really
believe.
think they had any popular games before that. At least not that gets talked about.
Fahrenheit, that's the one I was thinking of. It's like a PlayStation 2 game.
No.
Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, maybe it'd be one you'd like then. It doesn't look as good as their newer titles, so because it's PS2 era, but
What are you saying? A PS2 game isn't gonna look as good as my PS5 games?
probably not. There's something charming
Gee.
about like PS2 games though, like just the extra polygons or like the roughness of it, and I don't know, something's charming about it though.
Have you experienced the feeling? I don't know how old you are, but have you
Hmm.
experienced the feeling of a game you really enjoyed as a kid, and then you look back on it as an adult and you realize it really wasn't as good of a game as kid you thought it was?
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of games that I remember enjoying a lot or thinking was enjoyable or fun, and right, you go back and especially after the more games you play, right? You play hundreds of games over the years, and then you look back on old ones, and you're like, "Oh, that really wasn't a great one." But because it was the first one you played, or the first type of game in a certain genre that you played, uh, you didn't know better at the time, right? I mean, your taste and kind of preferences, right, evolve over time. So yeah, no, there's tons of games that are just best left in my memory. If I went back and played them today, they would not hold up, I'm sure.
Yeah, for me, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the first game, that one really stuck to me as a kid, as a game I really thought was fantastic. And then I look back on it now, and it's just like, this isn't what I remember.
It's best just to leave it, all right? Just leave it in your memory that way. Don't go back.
And I feel like when I was younger, and even now, I can agree that when it came to video games, they really blew it with the Harry Potter series.
They made some of the television shows into games for I
Every
don't
movie got turned into a game
wow,
at one
really? They
point.
made that many?
But they were bad. Most of them was bad. Prisoner of Azkaban was the best game in my opinion, and some
Mm.
people really enjoy. And they also did a thing where you'd release it on multiple consoles, but the game is completely different on consoles. Like for the Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, the first two games. But I know some people really like the PS1 Chamber of Secrets, and I liked it.
Oh, that
And
sounds super
then,
interesting. I didn't know they released one
yeah.
even on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, it was an interesting ride. But then you get to like past Prisoner of Azkaban, and they just got worse. And
Huh.
then they tried turning it back, kinda, to what it was, and that wasn't good either. I forget who made those games. I want to say someone that I think it would have been, but it's probably wrong. And I don't think they really need any more crap thrown on them. That what
Uh,
their whole existence currently is getting crapped on. So I
I don't
really want to
know.
know though. Like I'm probably about to look, but something else I thought was interesting that we seen in the last week is so Minecraft. Ever since it released, it's always had this super popular fan base. It's been consistently good, and recently it's had like 90 million plus players monthly.
Hmm.
Super impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible how many people play Minecraft.
But a game past it, and it's a game like I've seen a couple people play inside the creator sphere, but it's
Okay.
such a kid-driven game
What
that
is?
you never really hear anyone talk about much. Roblox. I mean, it's been around for
Oh.
like 14 years now,
Hmm.
and it had 100 million monthly players, and that's just wow.
Oh, yeah, that's super interesting. It's very Minecraft-esque or Minecraft inspired, right? I don't know if it was around before Minecraft, but it definitely kind of has that same vibe. And I assume it's free to play, right?
Yes, it is.
So that's probably a big thing, but I mobile too, right? Hmm. Very interesting. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's mobile.
I think I've seen, yeah, I think it is. I think I remember seeing kids playing it on their phone or something. So
Uh huh.
I don't know. Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah. I mean,
Gotta make all the money.
yeah, I guess so. I assume there's some kind of microtransactions or you can upgrade to buy the full
Probably.
experience. What was it called again?
Roblox.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's super interesting. I wonder
Ah, I
how
was
it can,
right.
what?
I was gonna crap on them for making the Harry Potter games, but I was right. My
What
first
developer?
EA.
Oh, gotcha.
EA games.
That's pretty funny. Oh, wasn't there
People on
also?
my people on my end could hear me unzipping things. I was looking through my PS1 and PS2 games to find the Harry Potter one so I could figure out what it was.
That's funny. Well, wasn't there the one that was? I remember seeing like a leaked version of a new like Harry Potter game that they were making a few years back, or I don't know, maybe a year or so ago. Do you know what I'm talking about, Wes?
I do not. The last they're making Harry Potter mobile games. That's a thing. Like they have the Pokemon Go clone,
Hmm.
just in the Harry Potter style universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
And they're doing mobile games, but I don't really think they're doing any like console or PC games nowadays. They should. I mean, if you ask me, a big MMORPG Harry Potter game would kill.
I would imagine so. It's a huge fan base, and yeah, I mean, there's not too many games that I can think of too where you're, I mean, that are well done where you're like a wizard of sorts too. At least in like the Harry Potter sense, I guess. Hmm.
If you were playing a Harry Potter game, would you want to be Harry the Wizard, or would you rather not be the Wizard Harry?
Uh, I guess I'd prefer if you could do like some type of like character customization because I've already seen all the movies, even though it's been a while. But it'd be more interesting to me if you could be like a your own student at Hogwarts.
Absolutely. Except you don't want to actually take all the tests and stuff. You don't want them to actually educate you on the classes.
Yeah, dumb.
No, that's what they should do. After all this time, they should be like, do you want to get a full Hogwarts experience? Well, you can go to Hogwarts Academy. And that's what the game is. You're going through classes after classes on all these made-up subjects.
Yeah, just I actually have to study and not do anything interesting at all. Like,
yeah, you have exams.
Just an exam simulator game. Like, oh, this is all worthless knowledge too. It's all made up. That's funny. Is there a character that you would like to be in or like play as in the Harry Potter series if they were to make them into games, Wes?
I feel like when it comes, I'm a wrestling fan, so I'm all about the face and heel dynamic, and I feel like you definitely want to be like the heel Draco Malfoy. I definitely feel like you want to be that kind of character. So that's probably where I'd end up.
That would be cool. I do agree, right? It's always fun to play as the bad guy, so no, that'd be super neat.
Because if you're a good guy, I mean, good guys can't have as much fun as bad guys can.
That's true, right? You at least you mess with everyone, and yeah,
you throw away all the rules,
and you'd get like more of a perspective. I like I said, I'm not huge on the movies, but you could show things that are different from the main series that the main movie series maybe that people didn't see, so might be like additional lore or something for them to cover. No.
And I imagine you can even combine it with VR and then you have VR Quidditch.
Yeah. That sounds like something that would make you motion sick super quick. Right?
You'd have an add-on VR broomstick that you have to ride on.
I mean, that would be pretty epic, but that would be super intense. Because they fly around pretty quick in Quidditch, right? Simulating that would be... Yeah. I mean, that's a good idea, though, really. It would be perfect for it, just like first person sitting on some kind of broom, right?
See, VR... I don't think I could ever try VR. I think VR is a really cool concept, but I feel like it's one of those things where we're going to find out in a few decades that, while it may not have a short-term effect on the brain, I think it's going to have a long-term effect if you stay in VR for too long. I don't think that's going to be a pretty thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being healthy or good for you. I wanted the same thing myself, right? There's no way that strapping this device with monitors on it inches away from my eyeballs is safe.
And then completely immersing yourself into something that isn't real.
That's true. What are you saying?
And that's what people want. They want to completely immerse themselves in the experience. And while that's not a bad thing, I mean, any game you play, you'd like to kind of immerse yourself if you can.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like eventually you hit the point where the brain's gonna have an error message.
Yeah, right. That being not be able to tell the difference between reality or maybe like virtual. Yeah, I'm sure it'll get to the point one day where, maybe it's more enticing to just stay in virtual reality all the time, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't care about the PS1, PS2 era of VR we're in right now. Mm-hmm. That's what I equivalent it to.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of true.
Once we get to, I don't really watch anime, but I did watch Sword Art Online. Once we get to, that point in VR, then I'm more interested in VR.
Yeah, that's for sure. So it'll be more interesting than real life, probably.
Yeah, I mean... And it's funny when you have games that are I forget what it's called, Another Life or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the game's whole purpose is just a life simulator. And you're role-playing as a different person in another life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
yeah.
It's addicting. I think I saw on one of your social media feeds that you played a lot of RuneScape, and I know I played that game for years when I was younger.
That game when I was a kid. I mean, still, if I had a Fallout Vault Tech Pip-Boy on my arm that calculated the exact amount of time I've played of all games. RuneScape has to be up there. And if Skyrim ever passed it, which it has to be number 2 for me, like, RuneScape is gonna pass it again, because I'm right back addicted to RuneScape
That's
again.
too funny. I was addicted to it for years. I
got sucked back in.
Yeah. It's a whole
they have
world,
a mobile
right?
app.
Like yeah, I've heard, right? You can play it on mobile now too, so yeah. But
And
like the economy and the world in there, like I don't know how other MMOs are too much, but something about that one just always stands out to me as really feeling like a lived-in world and economy. Super interesting.
And for me, like, returning to RuneScape after pouring has to be thousands of hours into RuneScape. I made a new character, which if anyone plays Old School RuneScape, you can add me. My name is Wesbess on there. If you add me, I'll totally accept that. I'm all for bumping that friends list up.
I don't know.
But yeah, just for anyone listening. But when it comes to me playing it again, I feel like after returning with a new character, I just feel like a pro. When it comes to what I was saying, I returned to RuneScape after so many years, and as I return to it, I just feel like a pro. Like, there's so many things that people don't do when they play RuneScape. Like, for example, you'll see bones laying on the ground everywhere. But if you actually want to level up your prayer skill, most people have to specifically go and buy bones to do that, because they don't really pick up the bones when they kill stuff or whatever. But if you just, over time, just pick up all the bones you see and slowly level up your prayer skill as you go along, you don't really have to go through that grind as much.
Yeah, no, absolutely, right? People are leaving valuable. And the bones are critical in RuneScape, right? You have to bury them to get that prayer level up, so.
And
no, that's totally
another
true.
pro tip, when it comes to if you want to make a small amount of money in a quick amount of time, go to the Grand Exchange. You can do that on Old School RuneScape. It has a Grand Exchange. Find a server where someone's doing the fires. People don't pick up ashes, but ashes is a good early moneymaker. You're not going to make millions in a short amount of time, but you'll definitely make like tens of thousands in a short amount of time.
People use them for like alchemy or something in game, or potion mixing. It's been a while.
But when people when they're going for their fire making skill, they don't pick up those ashes. They're too worried about getting more logs.
Right, they just want to keep burning them and as quickly as they can, huh?
But since I've come back to Old School RuneScape, I feel like I'm doing everything my own way. Like, I didn't like the mining skill when I was younger, but I'm all about making my own armor with the smithing skill. So my mining level is at like 43 right now, I think, maybe 44.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I've made my bronze armor, because I don't wear the best things. I wear what I want to wear for the character. I'm very specific about that.
That's funny.
Yeah, I wear the chainmail, the plate skirt, and I have a staff. And I got the, I don't know what it's called. And then something else. I need to get that cabbage ring again, that you do the cabbage teleport and it takes you to that cabbage field. I need that. I need that ring again.
I don't know. It's been a while. I know there's lots of items that people wear. I mean, not even like for their armor benefits, like Santa hats and party hats used to be a big deal.
I want a party hat one day. When I was younger, I sucked at making money, but now that I'm an adult and I'm like, okay, I recognize that. I liked woodcutting a lot. I liked doing skills that didn't make me money and cost me money. So, like, I don't think I ever had 10 million gold in RuneScape. I don't think I ever had that much.
Aren't the party hats easier to get on the new old school RuneScape servers though? Like, didn't they
Maybe.
make them not as valuable? You're not sure.
I have no
It's like
idea. I haven't
like
checked.
like you said on the original, right? They were like millions and like insane amount of gold. So,
I
but
just
yeah,
love how they're still updating Old School RuneScape. Like, it's still old school. Like, the whole thing is still the old school stuff. But they're tweaking things to make it better. And they do these polls. I don't know why I'm going on a big RuneScape topic. I feel like this is really a niche conversation. But a lot of people still play RuneScape. Like, it's not a dead game.
it's not. It's crazy. It needs to be updated, like graphically. I mean, it runs on phones, but
I haven't seen what the new or not new RuneScape, but the RuneScape
RuneScape
3,
3.
that's what the current one is, that isn't the old school one from 2007. I haven't seen what that looks like at this point. I know they back a few years ago, it looked better than it did, but I don't know if they're still upgrading that. I don't know why they do a RuneScape 4 at this point, as long as RuneScape 3 is still doing well. I know they were working on voice acting, all their quests. They wanted to bring in voice actors to voice act the quests so you could actually hear it instead of just read it. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, that'd be a big improvement.
But like old school RuneScape, the system they do is they'll do these polls on, okay, we have this idea laid out or this adjustment we could make. And if it gets a 75% approval, then we'll do it. But if it doesn't get, it's either 70 or 75% approval, then we're not going to do it. So they only do something that's overwhelmingly what the players want.
Yeah, I've heard of that, which is super nice, right? Because then everything's community driven, and they don't.
And I think that's why it still has a lot of players.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what happened in the past too. Is when they went from old school to 3 or whatever. Right, they lost a bunch of players because it wasn't what people wanted. I assume it's been a while, but
a lot of people run on nostalgia, and for me, I unfortunately had to stop playing RuneScape due to my internet issues. I've not had full-on internet since 2011, so I've missed a lot of the new RuneScape stuff. I've only briefly played some of it, and I haven't played any in like of the new RuneScape on my old account in like 2-3 years. So I never really adjusted to the new style. So old school RuneScape is just mostly my jam.
yeah, it's very unique too. The new one's just like a pretty generic MMO, really. It tries to be like WoW or other types of MMO, where the classics, it's its own thing. It's different. That's kind of what makes it special.
I don't even know what I was going to with this RuneScape topic, honestly.
It's a super interesting game.
I'm really passionate about RuneScape, but it sucked me back in.
That's
I
funny.
didn't think it would, but the addiction with RuneScape's back. Like, I'm probably gonna play it after we're done with this. Cause I'm trying to make my steel armor. I made my full set of bronze that I'm gonna make. I made my full set of iron, and now I'm working on making steel. Which, by the way, it's hilarious to me. Cause when you're mining the copper and tin, people will be reasonable with the spots. Cause there's only so many. People will be reasonable. They won't fight you for the spot. Once you get to iron, that consideration flies out the door.
Oh, is there just less of it, or what? Or is it people more aggressive on it?
Yeah, people are more aggressive on it, and they won't move. They'll fight you for it regardless. And it's not like they'll type anything to you. They're just gonna fight you for the spot.
They're gonna click it faster than you, right? Or like block your way or something.
Hope they have a higher mining level / better pickaxe so they can pick it up faster than you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that always pissed me off. Like, the Falador mines, that's still the best spot for iron in my opinion, and coal. I really like the Falador mines. For iron and coal at least. but it's like some spots you have to fight people in, and I'll just switch servers. Like, cause if you can pick up enough iron to fill up your inventory spot in the time it takes them to go to the bank and back. For the most part, you may still have like a row or two left, but you can mostly time that well if you try hard enough. But otherwise, I'll just keep switching servers. And switching servers is a lot easier on mobile than I remember it being on PC. So that's fun.
Funny. It's just easier to do, or what?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's its own section, world switchery, and you switch to a different world, and I like that they have bonds. Like, that's what I'm not paying for it. I'm never gonna pay for it again. I'm gonna stand by that decision, no matter how addicted I get to it. But I will make enough money to buy a bond and get membership.
Yeah, I've
with
heard
the
of that.
bond.
That's a newer thing, huh? Or you can just buy it with in-game currency, huh?
Yeah, and that's something I can appreciate and something I can go for.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's a nice option.
Free options that are grindy. You're gonna have. I don't know how much they cost, honestly. I only have like 40,000 gold right now, so it's not something I'm specifically worried about at the moment. But
That's funny. Yeah, hearing you talk about it. I definitely have lots of good memories playing the game. I don't know if I'd go back though.
yeah,
Too
I mean,
addicting.
I didn't think I would go back, but I tried it on mobile because there's not many good mobile games. Honestly, I enjoyed PUBG Mobile, but
It is
there's only so
perfect
many
for
PUBG mobile games you can play. But Old School RuneScape, like, my only complaint, well, my two complaints, and I don't know if they're gonna fix it or not. The buttons should be size adjustable because they're way too small. And if you go to type with the keyboard, then where you press, it'll go higher and to the right. So you have to quickly leave the app and open the app back up. And you don't have to log out or anything when you do that, but that's something else I've noticed that they need to tweak. I don't know how old the actual app is, though. It's only like 1 or 2, 3 years old at this point, so maybe they will fix it, maybe they won't. But we'll see.
I would imagine they would. They seem pretty dedicated to the game, so.
But although it's my podcast and I'm really passionate about RuneScape, I imagine I should move on from RuneScape.
Yeah, it's pretty.
At least in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very niche. So, have you played the Borderlands franchise at all?
Yeah, I played some of 1 and some of 2, I think.
On the road to Borderlands 3, which the trailer has me hyped for Borderlands 3. I think it'll be really good. But in the past 3 years, the Borderlands series has sold over 5 million more units. And publisher Take-Two says the Borderlands series has shipped 48 million units over its lifetime. This was during the August 5th quarterly earnings conference. And they chalk up about 6 million fresh Borderlands series sales since the Borderlands 3 reveal and the re-releases of previous titles. Though that extra million, they don't know if that really overlaps with the previous quarter or not. And their goal with Borderlands 3 looks to be 20 million sales.
And what that was, is that's more than some of their previous years? Like, I have no idea how good that franchise will do, or.
Yeah,
really.
They want 20 million sales on Borderlands 3, which would in theory be really good for them. But I'm not sure if they'll be able to do that. I mean, they might. Borderlands 3, as long as it's really good, I could see it. And I think the trailer looks good. So if it gets received well at the beginning.
What was the last one they released? The pre-sequel?
Yes, I think that came after the Telltale game.
Oh, how did that one do?
I don't know.
But it's not part of the main. Is it more of a side game compared to the main trilogy?
The pre-sequel was a part of the series. The Telltale game, I'm not sure, to be honest. I know I think it took place in the universe, but I think it was. I'm not. I want to say it was more like a earlier canon-wise with some of the characters, but I'm not 100% confident in that.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how their third one does. I have no idea, really. I know it's exclusive, at least on PC, it's exclusive to the Epic Games Store, I believe. So, yeah, I'll be curious
Thank you,
to see how
Epic
it
Games
does.
Store.
So,
Everyone loves having to download another free launcher to play a game.
yeah, but for me, it's more the fact that they don't have a lot of features on the store that I actively use.
Yeah,
They have none of them. Yeah, you can't. Last I tried, you couldn't even add multiple items to your shopping cart. So
that's weird.
yeah, there's no like community forums. There's no user reviews. There's no.
The Epic Games Store has to do one thing if they want to get me away from Steam. And they're not going to be able to do it.
What's that?
You have to do the big, great sales that Steam does. You have to do them at the same level or better. Otherwise, why would I go?
Yeah, no, it's totally true. Well, they give away, what, 2 free games a month right now? Or maybe every week. They had another sale too a little while back that was kind of controversial because Epic was actually paying for like they discounted the games like beyond what the developers agreed to, and they did it by Epic just like paying the difference. So I know
that's not going to be a profitable company for long.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're bleeding money by buying lots of exclusives, but right, the idea is to get people onto their platform. I don't know. Super interesting.
Last week I talked about Mixer doing that because they brought on Ninja from Twitch and signed him to an exclusive deal with Mixer. Same kind of thing that Epic is doing with games.
It must
hopes
work.
that it'll work.
It must
I mean, maybe.
Work.
I mean,
how else are you going to compete? I guess, right? Besides,
but the thing is, like, I don't think exclusivity is really going to be the way to win people over. I don't think exclusivity is what PC gamers are really looking for. I don't think they want to be told that, you really enjoy Steam and Epic doesn't have all the features yet. But we have games exclusive to the Epic Games Store.
Yeah,
and it's been met with controversy for that reason because people... I like things in one spot. I get, we don't want a monopoly, but I kind of do in a way. Like, I like Netflix being the one-stop shop that it isn't anymore. I like that kind of thing. It makes things easier as a consumer.
Yeah, if they just competed by actually offering like a better service, like if they had forums on their store, or if they had user reviews, or if they had any features that were beyond what. Yeah, I don't know why they don't invest their money into making a better platform rather than invest it into. That would be nicer, but I don't know. Yeah, that's super interesting. And yeah, I wonder how the sales for Borderlands 3 will do. I'm sure they'll do the same as they've always done on consoles, if not better, right? Since it's the third one and it's a huge franchise, so.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. There was big console-related news this week on that end. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft they're going to require loot boxes to have an odds disclosure. So, all odds when it comes to that stuff. The Entertainment Software Association has said that Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are working on new policies to require loot box odds disclosure on their systems, and this would apply to new games and game updates that add loot box features, and it would require the disclosure of the relative rarity or probabilities of obtaining randomized virtual items in games that are available on their platforms.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's probably a nice thing to have, right?
yeah.
Even though people just, I've never bought a loot box. I don't know about you, but I've never even thought about buying one. So
See,
I
I
don't
saw
know.
this coming. I
Yeah.
saw this path coming. A lot of people are pro DLC. No, 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 not me. I seen this coming. When people were willing to pay more for extra content, something like a microtransaction was always gonna happen when they seen that you could add more to the game with DLC and people will pay for it. This was always gonna lead to that road,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, right? Once people are willing to purchase, things like that, it just gets out of hand and ends up where we are now. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good thing that they're adding the probability. But I don't know, people should just have some self-control and not buy loot boxes too. That'd be nice. If no
Well,
one ever bought a loot box, then we wouldn't have.
that I feel like when it comes to adults,
Yeah, this is true.
I don't really think that's the big problem. I feel like most adults will come to that conclusion,
Yeah.
but it's all about kids spending their parents' money. That's the problem.
Yep. No, that makes sense, right? Manipulating children by thinking that they have higher odds or their brains aren't fully
And
developed yet. So, yeah.
speaking of, in a video by the Golden Bolt, who I bring up most weeks at this point,
Okay.
he's been a 2-time guest on the show. Someone I've been really good friends with for a few years. Also, just generally a part of the communities I'm in. He did a video about the Crash racing game that they did. That they said they weren't going to add any loot boxes or anything to.
I know what you're talking
And
about.
this racing game is geared at kids. And now they're
Hmm.
adding that stuff in after they said they weren't. And so Activision has been getting a lot of well-deserved crap on for this fun
I
way they
know.
decided to do it.
Yeah, not only that, didn't they add it in like so they have like their initial like batch of reviews and then it's like a few weeks later that they added in a patch. So the reviews or critics or people who looked at it initially don't see that stuff. So
Yep.
they just added in a few weeks later to avoid anything like that. Yeah, that sounds like a mess. It sounds
And without completely ruining anyone watching the Golden Bolts video on that game, something they did was you had like the first season of the, because games like to do seasons with that kind of game,
mm-hmm.
of different things you can unlock. And the first one was a super popular things people would want. That way you get hooked in. And then their second season is a lot of the unpopular stuff that nobody's really going to care about. And that's when they're going to be adding all this loot box and all that stuff. That's when they're adding it in. So they're trying to do it on the down low when less people are focused on it.
Yep. Sounds like some manipulative marketing tactics. This is why I should just not even bother with half the AAA games that are released today. It's just such a mess.
Absolutely. And I mean, I feel like this is a multiplayer game issue. I mean,
That's true, right? I mean, there's nothing really exciting about getting like new hats and well, I mean slightly, but
I'm okay with a cosmetic thing, kinda. When it comes to like, if it was adults only and kids weren't playing games, I think cosmetics paying for is fine. I don't really have a big deal with that. I get it.
yeah, that's
But
true.
when it comes to games children play, which is all games, like an M rating doesn't stop kids from playing these games, that's just a fact. You can't have that system because it's manipulative and takes advantage of people that are too young to understand the value of $1.
or just more easily susceptible to being manipulated.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I guess it is a huge thing when it comes to kids and then playing and gambling and trying to get these loot boxes, or probably wants to show off to their friends. And yeah, it's definitely a whole different game when you are talking about minors. So yeah, no, it's.
Would you say that you would review a game that features a cat higher than you would a game that did not feature a cat?
But I mean, I don't know. I've reviewed a game with cats in it. There's a lot of games with cats in them, really. Would I choose one? I'd probably choose whatever's the better game or the more appealing game. I wouldn't choose a bad game with cats in it over a good game without cats.
That's fair. That's
but if it has
fair.
cats, that's just an all-around plus, I suppose. But a bad game with cats is still a bad game.
But it has cats.
It has cats. I guess it's like a 0.1%. It depends on I don't know.
And when it comes to how you review games, you do a star system that I've seen. Yeah.
Yep.
I can appreciate that, because when you have, as long as you, and I don't think you've done this, and this would be my critique towards that system. Don't break that system. Don't be like, oh, this is a super perfect, fabulous, all-time great game. 5.5 stars out of 5. Don't do that. If it's the perfect game, that's 5. That's your highest. Don't break the rating system.
Yeah,
because that's just going to get controversy.
That's for sure.
If it's fantastic and perfect, just give it the perfect rating. Don't make it above the perfect rating.
You might be scoring, like if that does happen to someone, I'd imagine that you're scoring games too high then on your system, right? Because then you come across something else and you're like, oh, this is even better than the other titles I've played. Yeah, so I guess it's just important to make sure to be consistent.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, no, definitely be a mess.
What games are you looking forward to playing in the next year?
There's nothing huge that comes to mind. I'm really only usually looking to like the next like couple weeks or so. Yeah, I don't know. As for like AAA games, I know Anodyne 2 comes out on Monday, and that's the next game that I'm going to be reviewing and looking at. As for like bigger games, though, I guess the Halo series is eventually going to be coming to PC at some point. I don't know if that's... Yeah, so that would be something I'd be really excited for. How about you, West?
I look forward to one new game a year, generally. Like, I'll attach myself to one game, and for this year, I'm not really sure what that game is. I don't know if I'll have a game this year. Probably not at this point. I was super attached to the Outer Worlds until I seen that it's going to be first person only. That completely unhyped me from the Outer Worlds.
Oh, that's interesting. What's wrong with it being first person, or why'd that kill your hype for it?
Because, like, what I get enjoyment out of with the Elder Scrolls games, or Fallout, or a game like that, I enjoy character customization, and I like playing third person, because I'm the type of player that will put hours into character customization. And if I did that with the Outer Worlds, it doesn't matter, because you're not looking at your character. You're just playing in first person all the time. At least with like a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls, you can switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I heard from some guy that it's a super good game, and he said I should definitely check it out. So, that's a bummer to hear that. That kind of killed your interest for it.
I mean, if they would just add third person, you'd have me back on board.
Solve the problem. You can like fly around.
Yeah. Because it's not like I only play in third person on like Fallout or Elder Scrolls. Some things are better to do in first person. But if I'm like traveling around and I'm just walking or running somewhere, I want to be in third person, because why not?
Yeah.
Imagine
Well,
if your RuneScape character was first person.
I don't know how that would even work. If RuneScape was in first person, that'd be awful. You'd just be like staring at the rock for half the time. Like if you're mining, if you're fishing, you'd just be looking down at water.
Now tell me, since you used to be a RuneScape player, I'm so sorry for all the listeners. I'm sure RuneScape is your favorite topic, but I
Yep.
have to know. For me, an appeal for RuneScape as well, what I would do these skills like fishing, woodcutting, something that you could just click on and it'd do its own thing for a little bit, and I'd watch YouTube videos at the same time. I really enjoyed that experience, and I still do. That's what I do now. I still do the YouTube and RuneScape combo. Was that something you also did, or?
Yeah. No, that was a big appeal, right? You could like multitask or whatever else you
Yeah.
wanted to do, you could do with it. Yeah. I'd like watch YouTube and talk to friends and watch movies or TV and stuff while I'm leveling up. Yeah.
Yeah, to me that was always a super good appeal, and that's something like even now that's I enjoy being able to be like, okay, let me listen to the Joe Rogan Experience, for example, or Painkiller already too, podcasts I really like, and then I can just play RuneScape and I can do my mining thing and I can do the smithing thing, and hours will go by and I'm having a good time just doing my thing, working at it, getting what I want to do, and enjoying what I'm listening to or watching. Especially with Android now that it has the pop-in thing, so it's no longer multi-window, which I really liked multi-window. And I wish the pop-in was a little bit bigger, but I understand why it's not, and it isn't too small, but it could be bigger. And I feel like that's a good phone experience.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, it's super nice. I don't know why. For some reason, it's so entertaining. A game should really be good enough so that you don't have to multitask. But you're totally right. There's something novel about it where you're like, oh, I can just really casually play this on the side while I listen to this audiobook or podcast or watch my favorite show. Yeah, there's something that I always thought was
I think it's good to
nice
have
about
games
it.
like that. It's like Stardew Valley. If you could do the same thing with a game like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon or a game like that. I think there's just different appeals to different games, and not every game needs to have your full undivided attention at all points.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
it's
think,
totally true, right? It's a really relaxing experience. Yeah, I agree.
yeah. For me, RuneScape is that equivalent to me.
Yeah, and
Although,
it's nice to have a game like that, right? Something to go to, and you're like, I'm just gonna chill out.
you can get stressed in RuneScape if you go into combat and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, right, if you go into the wilderness and you have the potential to die and lose um thousands of hours of money's worth, right? Yeah. No, there's definitely
Yep.
some intense. Yeah.
And it's always like, you know how you remember the Dark Wizards right outside of Varrock?
Okay, yeah, very vaguely. Like I said, it's been a long time.
Like with a new character, they'll attack you because you're not high enough level for them to realize that they should leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
Man. And especially if you're wearing like armor that isn't good for magic, you'll die so fast.
Yeah. That's one of the things, right, though, like that sense of loss, you can really feel it in RuneScape.
And then you go back to try and get your stuff, and the wizards kill you again.
Oh.
I don't even know what we were talking about. RuneScape again for some reason.
Yeah. It's such a fascinating game. It really is. There's nothing else like RuneScape. I've never played. I played a lot of MMOs, but I've never played an MMO like RuneScape.
And yeah, it's just one of those games where even like some people critique it because it's grindy, and sure, it can be grindy if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be, though. That doesn't have to be your experience with the game.
Yeah, that's true. It's pretty grindy though. But
Yeah, it can be, especially if you want to I wonder, because a big critique I always had of the game when I was younger is you couldn't get a skill cape or you couldn't wear the skill cape if you weren't a member. I always thought that was kind of shitty and unnecessary. I wonder if they've changed that since.
Oh yeah, the only requirement should be that you have a level 99 in something. I didn't know that you had to be a member. That is kind of
Yeah, you had
crappy
to be a
of them.
member to wear it. I
Yeah,
always thought that was kind of dirty.
that
Like,
is
if you worked
dirty.
that hard to get to level 99 and work many hours, I feel like you should get to wear the damn cape, whether or not
Yeah,
you're giving them money or not, because you've clearly spent plenty of time into the game.
I agree. Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't know if
That's
it's
messed
still
up.
like that or not, but
That's funny.
well, I guess now we'll start leading into the topics of will they be a success? Will they be a bust? We're about to find out.
All right, let's do it.
So how do you feel about these Netflix, Hulu, all these streaming services? Are you a user of them, or are you more, nah, not so much?
Yeah, no, I have a subscription to Netflix, though it's not one that I pay for, but it's a family members that I use.
How do you feel? Cause have you heard much about Disney Plus and what Disney's doing with Hulu and all that?
Yeah, I think very vaguely, right? Aren't they pulling a lot of like their properties and gonna put them onto their own streaming service or something
Yep.
along those lines? Yeah.
And Disney announced this week they're gonna have a $12.99 bundle for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. And this bundle package starts on November 12th, and it will include the standard ad-supported tier of Hulu, not the more expensive no commercials plan, or Hulu with live TV. But most likely, they'll add on additional plans to bump the price up a little bit for you to get that extra Hulu thing. That just kind of makes sense, but right now you want to do the low price deal to hook people.
Yeah, to get a
And
user base at first, huh? Very
yeah,
interesting.
and I'm kind of fascinated. I've covered the Disney Plus stuff since the beginning, and I moved a long way in this discussion since probably like November, December, whenever the talks were first coming around about it. I've talked about it ever since. Whenever there was an update, and at first, I definitely wasn't gonna get Disney Plus, but I'm a big Marvel fan when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, and they own all those
And
properties, right? Are they pulling them all off of there? And
I'm so glad I never watched the Netflix shows, because I would be so pissed right now if I had spent that many hours watching those, like, what, 4 or 5 Netflix shows that are now irrelevant. I mean, they never were relevant to the actual movies, but now they're just completely irrelevant.
yeah,
Because they're
right.
rebooting them.
Oh, really? They're rebooting all of those? Like,
They're at least rebooting Daredevil. I didn't see they were going to reboot all of them
what?
immediately, but they're definitely
Interesting.
rebooting Daredevil.
Why reboot
They
it
have
though?
to wait like 5 years
Wasn't it pretty successful?
on Netflix.
But don't they own the property? Aren't they gonna like?
They do.
Right, why
They have them now. They'll take it off Netflix whenever their Netflix contract ends. But what it boils down to is they want to more incorporate these into the actual universe. And it's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is about to end, and it was at one point more attached to the actual universe, but people complained and they kind of separated it more. And on the final season, they're going to bring Agent Carter into the last season because of how that story's going and how it makes sense. But they're more focusing on making all their Marvel stuff more actually related to the cinematic universe. Like even Deadpool. Deadpool is going to be a part of the Avengers down the road.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be very, very interesting to see. Yeah, I'll be curious to see what their streaming service is like. I mean, if it makes them make more shows and it makes them produce more competition, I guess I don't. I mean, I'm not hugely invested in it, so but I'm curious to see
Which,
how it unfolds. Yeah.
yeah, which leads me into the next topic. That is, I if you've listened to the show for any listener out there, you hear me talk about me just compiling things into one topic that's gonna be a bust. Most likely will be a bust. From the conversation we just had, I know these are gonna be a bust. But, just running through these real quick, because content creators are busy people and they don't watch these shows. Too busy.
Maybe on their commute or something. That's when podcasts are best, anyways.
I really love podcasts. Like, that's why I enjoy my own podcast and getting to talk to different guests every week and bringing back guests on occasion. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I like them too.
It's super fun.
I think so too.
So, in the last week, we learned that, because when it comes to DC TV shows, they have these crossover shows where they'll bring on, like, oh, here's Arrow, here's Flash, here's Supergirl, here's all these people put into your one crossover event. And we learned that for the first time in 2 years, the Black Lightning character will be in the Crisis on Infinite Earth Arrowverse crossover. And my stance on this is pretty firm. I did not watch any of Black Lightning. The preview did not look entertaining to me. I am not going to go back and watch the show now that it's actually going to be included in the universe, because at first they said it wasn't going to be. So I that was another reason why I never cared to watch it, because it didn't really look super good to me. But even now that it is going to be included, I'm still not watching that show. I still, unless the dude that plays it absolutely impresses me in the crossover, I'm not going to watch that show. Sorry, I guess. But, yeah. I just have no interest in the Black Lightning character, and the reviews for the show just wasn't good enough to warrant my attention.
I didn't even know it existed until you mentioned it. The Hulu exclusive?
No, it's a CW show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these are all CW shows. You can watch it on Hulu.
Alright.
For what it's worth.
Interesting.
And we also learned that the CW president told reporters that the network is looking to add another DC Comics property to its slate for the 2020 to 2021 TV season. And I'm pretty mixed on this. It really depends what it is. Like, we're adding Batgirl. I'm pretty sure it's Batgirl and not Batwoman. I'm pretty sure it's Batgirl. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure it's Batgirl. For the big difference that makes.
Right.
And I'm not really looking forward to that show. I like the person that plays her, but I don't like the outfit that they have for it. I don't like the red wig they added to her. I'd be okay with her having short hair, but I guess that's just me, and that's not the direction they're going to take the character. But I'm still going to watch that show. I'm giving it a chance. I'm giving it more of a chance than I am Black Lightning for whatever reason. Because the Batman concept is interesting, so.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think that one would appeal more to me too.
And I'm not sure what kind of DC comic property would hook me in. I'm not really sure. Because, I mean, I liked it. I like the DC TV shows a lot better than the DC movies. I really appreciate what they did with Aquaman in the movie. I love that movie when it comes to actually making Aquaman something. I was always a big fan of Aquaman over like a Batman or Superman. So I'm really happy that they did that justice. And I thought the Wonder Woman movie was really good. But the rest of the movies were pretty meh.
Yeah, I've seen the Aquaman one, and I definitely agree. I think the Aquaman one is super good. I think it's like way over the top.
Jason Momoa did a great job.
Yeah, no, it's a super fun movie. I haven't seen the Wonder Woman one.
And then lucky enough for this, speeding through the topic, I already talked about Haley Atwell, the one that does Agent Carter, showing up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, I already covered that. So,
Okay. Yeah,
that's all my random TV show news for the week that I care about that content creators don't seem to really care about because they don't watch shows because they're too busy making content to watch content, which is very fair and very true. If there's anything to learn from the podcast for a listener, it's that content creators are very busy. Except me. I'm not busy, apparently, because I watch all these shows.
I mean, they're super interesting. I'd love to watch them. I have like a watch list though of like 100+ shows, or like movie list too. There's just not enough time to consume all the media.
If I could give you the best DC show, in my opinion, it's Legends of Tomorrow. I think that one is the best of the bunch.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
I'm sure my suggestion is going to go a long way towards you actually watching it, but...
I mean, I'll definitely keep it in mind. It looks very interesting, and I never heard of it, so I definitely appreciate the suggestion. The main female protagonist looks cool.
Yep. So, moving from TVs and movies, which I mean, we didn't really talk about any movies. Specifically, there wasn't much movie news. Oh, actually, there is one movie news, and it's not really. I don't even know if this is a this week thing, but I seen it this week. You know the G.I. Joe movies?
All right, yeah.
And you know how that movie franchise is dead, or at least should be dead?
Yeah.
Apparently, well, they are. They're doing, what's it called? They're doing a spin-off of the G.I. Joe. You remember the character, I don't know, they're calling it Snake Eyes, I don't know if that was the character's name, but the dude that doesn't speak, has the black suit on at all times, and the black helmet on at all times. They're doing a spin-off of that character. So, what I'm hearing, from my biased point of view of a movie franchise that I frankly thought was dead...
Yeah, me too.
They're doing a movie about someone that doesn't talk, that you don't see their face. Do they think that's going to help their franchise?
Yeah,
like, I assume it isn't actually going to be that way. I'm sure they'll do something else. But that does not look enticing at all, that would be the direction they're going in.
Oh, wasn't there the Deadpool movies before with where he actually didn't talk? Or is that wrong? I swear there was, but I don't know.
But are you ready to go completely off topic to something that's not anywhere close to anything we've talked about tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want you to put yourself in Japan right now. Are you in the Japanese mindset?
Alright, I'll do my best.
Alright, so the Japanese government aims to have people driving flying cars by the 2030s. A flying car has been tested in Japan and was able to hover steadily for about a minute using its 4 propellers. There are also hopes to use flying cars to connect islands in the My Resort area, which is frequented by Hollywood celebrities. Japan wants to become a world leader in the sector, but could find itself competing with Dubai, which is also aggressively pursuing the flying car technology. However, there are still huge hurdles to overcome before flying cars can become commonplace, including battery life, the need for regulations and safety concerns, and flying cars, often called eVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, are defined as aircraft which are electric or hybrid electric, with driverless capabilities and the ability to take off and land vertically. The new vehicles aim to be better than helicopters, which are expensive to maintain, noisy to fly, and require trained pilots. What are your thoughts on flying cars?
It sounds awesome. It sounds, yeah, super cool if it's actually something that's feasible. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see the possibility. Kind of sounds like a mess too, though. What are you gonna have? Like a whole bunch of people just flying around in their own personal cars? It's hard to imagine. But by
I mean,
what,
honestly,
2030? That's
Like all my friends, at least, and I know everybody uses this. They fuck around.
yeah. No, I hope they do it. I mean, sounds cool. Hopefully.
I am
Hopefully.
all for driverless cars. 'Cause I feel like I'm never gonna drive a car in my life because there are some things in life that one
Food. Can you put in the delivery line what it is?
taken.
I mean, yeah, it's very dangerous. That's probably more likely
I
to
don't
die.
trust.
With either cocaine,
Probably true. I don't blame you. It's probably one of the most likely ways to die, really.
things that like they think are jokey.
Else, whether they're drunk or just not giving a fuck because they're looking at their phone.
Explain all these $4 prostitutes.
That's it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The more you drive, the more likely it is, really. You should just create a bunker and just live in that forever.
Welcome to Fallout.
Yeah. To survive.
See, they all seem to be the
Yeah, very true, very true. But I am very pro the
were. You go back and check the price of a Frisco milk from 2000.
Like they say, it isn't going to be as loud as a helicopter.
And I'll confirm that. But
Yeah, I would say so too, right?
It's like you're going to have motorcycle noise volume all the time, everywhere. That doesn't
just do one. I'm
car quietness with these.
I wonder how many people really from having.
Yeah,
like
I don't know. I never even paid anyone in Venmo.
How
quicker?
high could it hover? Like, is it only going to be able to hover a foot? Can you actually make it fly down the road? Can you advance it enough to actually fly?
What point does it just become not even a car anymore? It's just like a flying.
Hands 3. GSP looked.
Sits a foot off from the ground with its tires.
Yeah, you just have it hover it instead of the wheels.
Yeah.
Good to take out Michael Bisping, it seems.
Oh, he won?
Yeah,
He did.
GSP.
And this is probably a little bit offensive to say, but
Okay.
how would the struggle for it? Would there be a weight capacity? Like, could you not put any item in that car? Or would it be like if this car has
The Bisping fight, I thought they were doing well.
That's true, right? What if you bought a brand new like TV or something? Could you put it in that flying car? Would it just be unusable at that point? Or even the grocery store? What if you bought a bunch of groceries? Like, oh, I can't get home now.
How much weight?
I think
Like 5 people in a car. Could it hold that much weight?
That's true. I have no idea. I would
These are
assume
interesting
no.
things.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. You'd think it'd be an issue.
Yeah, I would guess it would be an issue, right? I mean, I assume they're going to be relatively small if they're personal flying cars, so.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to tell me how attached to Walgreens you are.
Probably a 1. I don't think I've been to Walgreens in years.
Well, then you won't be saddened to hear that Walgreens will be closing down 200 stores in the U.S. The new store closures represent less than 3% of its 10,000 locations in the U.S., Walgreens said in a statement, adding that it anticipates minimal disruption to customers and patients. It said it anticipates retaining the majority of employees in other nearby locations. Walgreens. Walgreens. No, same thing.
Close enough.
Said it hopes to save $1.5 billion annual expenses by fiscal 2022 in what it's calling the Transformational Cost Management Program. Walgreens expects toward a $1.9 to $2.4 billion earnings hit related to real estate, severance, and other costs, it said in a regulatory filing. So that is
very fun to watch.
I feel like in the past year we've had Walmart's closed down, we've had GameStops, We've had Lowe's. We've had Pizza Hut was a recent one. I don't know if that was this week or last week, but Pizza Hut's, you have a major number of them, or at least a small couple hundred closing down. Seems like it's the year of it.
Yeah, I'll probably just continue too. I mean, isn't Amazon supposed to have like those drones at some point that can just deliver stuff to your house? I mean, I
feel like that was a trend at one point. I think that quickly died off because people would probably want to shoot them or damage them. I don't think drones are the smart idea.
Yeah. I feel like more and more retail stores like that, though, will just go away. I feel like just more convenient to order stuff online. There's hardly ever situations where I immediately need anything. So what would you go to Walgreens for? I guess the pharmacy is the most important aspect.
Well, Walgreens could potentially have a sale on the best soft drink in the world. Possibly the greatest drink in the world. Good old Dr. Pepper.
Like, you could order Dr. Pepper, though, online. And you don't
But could you get the same sales price?
I don't know. Probably, what, do they have like a special deal with them or something?
Different times, different locations have good Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
I mean, right now, I mentioned in the other room, there's over 10 12 packs, probably 20 12 packs in another room where I am right now.
All right. I'll leave it up to you. You sound like the expert on the topic. I don't know.
You gotta get your Dr. Pepper fill. Dr. Pepper is the greatest drink.
I'm not very excited.
Future sponsorship.
Yeah, maybe. They should have the money to throw at it, so I don't know.
So in the last topic of the podcast, normally I like to go into these topics without an already made bias, and I like reading it and then establishing my stance. But this one, I'm so biased going in. Instagram and WhatsApp will add from Facebook to their names. My response to this is I'm not a big Instagram person. I don't use Facebook anymore. I have a Facebook account, but I don't use it anymore. I haven't used it really much at all. But I uninstalled Instagram like a few months ago because I find Facebook so dirty. And so, it's the same people, and now they're just more transparent. And I just don't see myself going back on Instagram again.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think social media is a mess too, especially Facebook, right? They're like all into your personal data, and you can't even. They don't even allow like an anonymity like at all. You can't even. They like force you to. Well, not force you, but they want people to put up their real names, and yeah, I completely agree. I think that sounds like a nightmare. I think social media in general is a nightmare.
I mean, I like Twitter and I like Discord.
Yeah, that's
Discord
true.
is technically social media.
I guess I just don't think that way. I think of yeah. I guess yeah. No, you're totally right.
I mean, I use Discord every day. I'm very active on Discord every day.
Yeah,
it's an interesting journey.
Is it social media though? It's like you more talk. I don't know. Yeah, I guess in a way it is. It's just different.
Yeah, it's a different kind.
Yeah. Hopefully, Facebook doesn't take over Twitter and.
I wouldn't think so. Sometimes there's news that I don't really talk about, but I end up talking about a podcast. I don't add these to my notes because I just don't like them. So,
okay.
And like last week, it was the Mixer one because I want to head the wall when I see people being like, "Oh, this is the sign. We need to all go to Mixer. This is how I'm gonna get big quick. I'm gonna go to Mixer where there's nobody watching anything. I'll be big." And this week announced that they were gonna have not a streaming service or something, but in a voice chat, you can stream to a voice chat of 10.
Oh, I see. So it's like the beginning of a streaming service almost, right?
Maybe.
It's kind of what it seems like. Like, what else would be the point of something like that?
I don't know. I don't like it. I read about it. I just disapproved. It doesn't sound like something that Discord needs. Which, by the way, I've been complaining on Twitter, on Google Play Store, that for the past 3 years, that I just want one thing to be added to mobile. It's very simple. It can't take more than a few days of work. But they've added video chats, they've done screen sharing, they've done their Nitro stuff, they've added that whole store. They've added all sorts of months of work. But they can't do a simple thing. I want to be able to flip a table on mobile like you can on PC.
Gosh.
I want to be able to do those /shrug, /flip table. I want to be able to do those. And I've said for years.
That's
And
so
they've
funny.
never responded. They've never put in the it can't be more than a few days worth of effort to
Right, what
add
are
that
they
in.
thinking? It's the most critical feature.
Yeah, this is top of the priority list.
Yeah,
Keep
immediately.
slumming out on it. Now they're adding this stupid feature, and I still don't have the ability to flip a table on mobile.
Funny.
What kind of ridiculousness is this?
I have their
Unsub
priorities all
Discord.
messed up. Yeah.
Unsub. So, when it comes to Instagram and WhatsApp, do you use either of them?
I had an Instagram at some point for a different account that I ran, but I've never had a WhatsApp account. I currently don't have an Instagram account. How about you?
I own a Facebook and Instagram for the brand, but they will both go inactive probably forever. I don't want to delete them because someone will just take the name, and I feel like it's good to keep your branded name everywhere if you can. So I'm going to keep them. But especially with Instagram going to become Instagram from Facebook, probably don't expect me to ever touch Instagram again. I do not expect I'll ever install the app again. I'm just very against Facebook and their lack of decency towards people.
Yeah, a few weeks ago I tried to make one, and yeah, they didn't give me any other option besides like putting your real name, and I didn't want to, and then they just banned you off their service if you don't
Yep.
disclose
And it's always been like that. It's been like that for a decade.
Yeah, it's not. That's crazy. So
Have you enjoyed your experience on the podcast?
yeah, no, it's super fun to hang out and chat and talk about RuneScape.
I keep diving back into RuneScape, and I feel like I'm gonna look back, and I don't imagine people are gonna enjoy that. I don't foresee people being like,
that's the
"Oh,
best
we need
part."
more RuneScape talk. We need more RuneScape talk."
That's my
Like
favorite.
I imagine. Yeah, I really enjoy RuneScape. I could talk about it all day. There's just so many memories, so much I could dive into, especially now that I'm getting back into it.
I bet you sound excited about it. That's fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it after this. I'm a watch/listen to a podcast with the picture-in-picture mode, and I'm a mine and Smith on RuneScape after we're done with
Nice.
this.
It does sound
That's
like a
just
good
gonna be
time.
how it is. Ugh.
Yeah,
but
no, it
yeah.
sounds super fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear everyone praise RuneScape talk. I'm sure that'll be the reaction.
I agree.
But let's tell everyone where they can find you.
Sure. So you can find me on YouTube. Just type in WASD cat game reviews. And I also have a Twitter, which is WASD_cat. And those are the two platforms that you can find me on.
Can I take a moment to critique your Twitter?
Sure.
You should really do more with the Twitter than just advertising your new posts.
Uh-huh.
You need to be more engaged with the Twitter.
Yeah, use it more as like a platform
Engage
to
with
talk
people.
and connect with people. Yeah, no, I totally agree. No,
And I mean, I feel like all creators they'll post their stuff to Twitter, and it's fun to do that. It helps people be like, okay, if you, however you do it, it's just okay. Now I know a video's up if I didn't already know from YouTube or whatever. And especially for me, because I do the link, because the podcast is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all those places. So I'll do my Twitter post with YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. That way it's the 3 biggest places someone would go to listen to the podcast. Which, by the way, if you're listening to this episode right now and you downloaded it from Alexa or the Echo, please get in contact to me and tell me how that works. I don't understand how that works, and my analytics have shown a recent spike in Alexa/Echo downloads. And I don't understand how it works. I'd really like to know how that works, because I'm really confused.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds fascinating. I have no idea.
Yeah, are you just like, Alexa, download the newest episode of the BS podcast? Or how does that even work? I don't understand.
I don't either.
I really hope whoever...
It must be convenient, right, if people are using it.
Yeah, I really want to know how that works. So, whoever you are, please contact me on Discord in my server, or Twitter, Wesocracy. Tell me how this process works, because I really want to know. It confuses me, but it's an interesting thing. I'm really curious. Anyway, that came in my head, because I remember looking at the analytics of the downloads earlier, and that just really intrigues me.
Yeah, no,
I don't understand.
Too. I don't get it either.
But if everyone enjoyed this episode of the podcast, make sure if you're on YouTube to leave a like. If you're elsewhere, join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Tell me you appreciated the episode if you did, or if you really enjoyed RuneScape Talk, and let us know. No. I can do a weekly RuneScape Talk. I can manage that. That no problem there.
That's funny. I'd be back for more RuneScape Talk anytime. Let me know. If it's what the fans want.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. RuneScape Talk 2020. This is the platform I'm gonna run on.
Let's do it.
Do I have anything else to add on to the outro? I don't really think so. I hope everyone enjoyed. Hopefully you tune in next week as I bring on who knows who. I don't know who the next week's guest is gonna be yet. I generally... It's an interesting ride every week. Finding a new guest. Yeah, I always scout out for guests. I look at channels and I'm like, does this make sense to bring on the podcast? Could this person work for the podcast? I try and get a vibe.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I hope you find a good guest coming next week, and I appreciate you taking the time to reach out to me and having me on.
It was a good time.
Yep, absolutely.
Peace out, everyone.